What kinds of areas are you targeting? We know that you've given a list of four sort of elements that you really want to see and that you're looking at. Can you give us any more details?
Absolutely. So, we think the target universe is probably 150 companies total, $10 billion plus private companies. There are more that we're not including. We're not including in that subsidiaries of large corporations. We're not including some employee-owned businesses in that list. But the list is broader than 150. We think the top third will meet our quality thresholds. We're looking for a simple, predictable, free cash flow generative company with very high barriers to entry, with minimal exposure to what we call risks, extrinsic risk we can't control. We're looking for the super durable, great growth business that we can own for the next decade. That's kind of the target. The list is a list that we have in mind. There may be others we're not aware of. We welcome the phone call, but we're going to comb through that list. Stick with me, Vonnie, if you will, please. We're going to look at every deal over the next, we're going to see every deal over the next 6 months. I mean, this is what's interesting about this transaction is every investment banker around the globe is aware that we've just raised the largest blank check company in the world. We've got $5 billion of capital that we're looking forward to committing to buy a minority common stock interest in a company. It's the only such pool in the world. I refer to it in a way as its own unicorn. And basically, we're in a unicorn mating dance, and we want to, marry a very attractive unicorn on the other side that meets our characteristics. And we've designed ourselves to be a really attractive partner. And that's what we're going to do. In terms of
Bill?
specific companies, I'd rather not name specific companies, but go ahead.
Some names are already out there, and I don't think they meet all your criteria. So, for example, you say, a company that's not exposed to extrinsic risks. Would that take Airbnb out of the equation?
What I mean to say is every business is exposed to extrinsic risks, but if the extrinsic risk is one that is catastrophic, so for example, if you're an energy company and the price of oil goes down to 20 and you're bankrupt, that's not for us. Every bit, we own Hilton today. It's clearly exposed to pandemic risk, but it's a business that survives through a crisis like this, becomes a more dominant business after a crisis like this. We would certainly take a look at a company like Airbnb. I've always admired the business. I've admired its economic characteristics. I know many Airbnb, a friend who makes a large amount of her income by renting out the ground floor of her brownstone, has had amazing experience with the company. Certainly a business we would look at, very attractive economic characteristics. We don't require that a company today is cash flow positive on an overall basis. We just require it has extremely economic, attractive characteristics, and that we can predict with a pretty high degree of confidence how those cash flows will grow over the long term. And that's the kind of business that we're looking at.